Last episode, we agreed to sign Vinicius Jr. in principle. Well, I say that actually, he's not accepted our contract offer yet, but it looks very likely he will be joining us because PSG aren't making bids. He has accepted our contract offer. I do actually have to make a decision today. But before all of that, we do have to conclude an ongoing saga, I feel like, in this save game. The Club World Cup concludes today, and we're going to kick things straight off with the game against Bayern Munich. I ended last episode on the day of the game, on the minute of the game. I'm now here on the game. I'm going to run the intro. We're going to get straight into things. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to episode number 18 of our Chelsea Let's Play. Today we are going to hopefully conclude the summer transfer window, as well as the Club World Cup, where we immediately are taking on Bayern Munich. You can see the team here. Arda Güler is going to be playing out on the right-hand side. Through the middle, we've got Nkunku with Victor Roque out on the left. Ferguson starts up front. Besides that, it is a full-strength team. Reece James back from suspension as well. I'd love to make the Club World Cup final. I'd love to win it all. Apparently, Evan Ferguson isn't so keen on that idea. Of course, this competition isn't necessarily the be-all or end-all. I would still like to win it. I may never play in a Club World Cup final again during my time on YouTube this year in Football Manager, just because of the kind of save games we do here. So, well, making the final would be nice. Musiala scored after 21 minutes. Davies, who we were looking at a couple of episodes ago with the throw-in inside, he thinks it's a Højlund. He plays it across, and Musiala taps it in. Now, if we do lose this game, we do play in a third, fourth place playoff. If it comes to that, I don't think I'm even going to cover that in the video. I don't know if it reflects on me and my competitiveness. I hate the principle of third, fourth place playoffs. I feel like, if you lose in the semi-final, you're never really that bothered about the, playing for third, are you? You don't watch the World Cup, do you, to watch the third, fourth place playoff? I don't think I've ever watched the third, fourth place playoff, even when England were in it. Anyway, those principles carry over into Football Manager as well, where at half-time, we had that one shot from Chilwell at the end of the half. Besides that, we've not done a lot. They didn't do a great deal either, though. What was that? Get your acts together. Just get shouty. That's what I do. No one played well in that half. There's some people who are here for the transfer special, willing us to lose this game. They want less football on the pitch, more football on the spreadsheets, which, to be fair, I kind of can relate to that somewhat. I mean, we all play Football Manager. 28 minutes left of this game. We have done nothing. I mean, Nkunku's on a 6.3. I'm going to take him off. I'm going to bring in Mudryk through the middle, Etcheverry on the left, and Madueke on the right. Some would argue I'm losing my mind, and I might be, but all three of these players have bailed me out at earlier stages of this competition. And up top, you know what? Tammy Abraham, come on down. I'm going with a quad change with half an hour left. Mudryk with the ball. Casado, we're creating a lot all of a sudden with the changes we've made. The subs we've made, not the players having the shot, sadly. And the shots we are having, not even on target. 10 minutes left in this game. I mean, this has been disappointing. Bayern Munich, of course, good team. One of the better teams in Europe, I think you could argue. But we have not done enough in this game. And whilst they've not had a whole slew of chances, when we have had opportunities, we've not really created meaningful ones and not even found the target. We've not tested their goalkeeper yet. I mean, there is still 8 minutes for that to change. It could change here. Sommer is going to launch it long. Leroy Sané in pursuit. He takes down the ball expertly, the number 10, and now he's cutting inside. Gnabry got a man on the overlap as well here. Few players forward for Bayern Munich. First real chance they've had in this whole half. As we go more attacking, we are going to leave ourselves open. Fofana breaks it down, and now we are going to look to spring the counter-attack. Madueke passed to by Etcheverry. Lots of space to get in behind here. Back with Reece James now. He could play it wide. Etcheverry, man on the overlap, could go on his lonesome, could get on his right foot, or could square it to Mudryk. The subs link up. We score again. We came back in the round of 16. We've come back in the quarterfinals. Are we about to do it again in the semis? Suddenly, it feels like a possibility. Of course, this game will go to extra time. Etcheverry here, I'm expecting to cut on his stronger right foot, but he just goes to the byline, pulls it across, and it's shambolic defending, to be frank. 4 minutes left. Kickoff. Well, I say kickoff. It's a goal kick. Etcheverry. Options ahead. Mudryk. Surely not again. He takes it down. He hits the woodwork. It's the second time we've hit it in this half. It's still not 100% away from danger here. We have looked threatening. If you were going to bet on a team to win this before extra time, I feel like it would be us. There's going to be 2 minutes of added time at the end of this half. We're going to extra time. I mean, look at the XG story. They did not have a shot in the whole of the second half. We have an XG of 2.88. We've scored 1 goal. We're doing very well. Keep it going. I don't really want to overcomplicate things here. Now, I do get an extra sub now, and I am looking at Mason Mount, who's looking a little worse for wear. I'm going to take him off and bring in Moscardo. He's going to play as a defensive mid. Going to give Casado permission to roam forward as the Segundo Volante. And elsewhere, Chilwell is exhausted. Colwell, on you come. Final sub made. Going to just try and push like we have been. We brought on those fresh legs in the final third. Of course, those players have now been on the pitch half an hour. I imagine Bayern Munich saved some of their subs slightly later, so maybe they're going to have the fresher legs. As oh my word, who was that? Fofana blocks a shot off the line. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half of extra time. It's Enzo Fernandez, our former man, on the pitch, giving it to Leroy Sané. He's half-tackled Perry. What a save. Sané now over the resulting corner. It's not over yet. 90 seconds left of this. Can we deal with things here? Oh my, I'll tell you what, if Enzo Fernandez had scored, I'm fuming. He's hit it over. We've had 18 shots, 3 on target. That is tragic, isn't it? We're not having as much the ball as Bayern Munich, but when we do get the ball, we do get it forward well. I'm going to tell the players to up the tempo, get rid of be expressive, get rid of pass into space, and put in work the ball into the box. We got 15 minutes. I feel like we've got the technical ability to work 1 golden opportunity. I'm going to hope that happens. I don't want penalties. And yet, as I stare in the top left corner, penalties feel inevitable. Penalties are here. I'll tell you what, Mudryk Madueke on penalties doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. Neither does our penalty attributes. They are actually tragic. Okay, here we are. This is my first penalty shootout of the new Football Manager. Gnabry is going to step up. He's going to try and pick a corner. Or rather, he isn't. He's going to smash it down the middle. They score their first. Reece James, all eyes on you, son. Hold your nerve. Let's go 1-1 in the shootout, please. He steps up. He finds the top corner. Lee Kang-in, the South Korean international, on home turf. Can he make something magical happen? Well, I don't know if making Perry go the wrong way is magical, but he's made that happen, and now all eyes are on my apparently best penalty taker in this shootout, Mudryk. He's the reason we are here right now, and he's going to keep it at 2-2. Musiala got Bayern Munich's goal, didn't he? Very early on in this game. After he scored, they really didn't threaten again until the extra time. He is going to threaten from the spot, though. He makes it 3-2. And so far, it's been a clinic of penalties. Tammy Abraham, can we keep the clean sweep going? Of course we can. He smashes it into the top corner. Renato Sanchez, the Portuguese centre mid, steps up, hits it. Perry saves it, tips it over, and suddenly we have an advantage. And I'm looking at Madueke. Why is Madueke on the pitch? What was I thinking? The number 11 steps up. I was thinking he's great at penalties. If they miss, we're through. And the man with all the pressure on his shoulders is number 5, Ignacio, Portuguese international centre-back. Stepping up for the 5th penalty. If he misses it, they're out. He scores it. Now we have Wesley Fofana on the penalty for us. I feel like on the balance of play, we deserve to be going through here. We've been the better team. Wesley Fofana, score this. We're in the Club World Cup final. What can he do? He finds the bottom corner. Sommer goes the right way. He can't save it. And with that, we go marching on. I feel like we did deserve it, but that was not a particularly pleasing performance to watch. Good win, good performance. That'll do me. Well done. Who are we playing in the final? Who's in the other semi-final? I don't even know. Mudryk on form as Chelsea win the shootout. I hope someone was watching that. If anyone wants to make a bid on him, you know, he just won us that game. That would be dandy. The other semi-final, by the way, Barcelona v Man City. I really don't want to play Man City. I really don't want to play Man City. I promise you, if I play Man City next season, it's not going to be on a video. That's a guarantee at this point. Okay, we are playing Man City. Sadly, it's at the Incheon Munhak Stadium, which we have now played at, if I'm not mistaken, 4 times. So it's very familiar at this point. It's where we just played the semi-final. So do we get a home field advantage with that? I'd like to think so. You know the whole Vinicius Jr. thing? Yeah, he's just signed a new deal for Real Madrid. He had no hesitation in accepting their offer. Well, I want to find a new blockbuster signing. I've got almost £300 million to spend. I mean, logically, Kylian Mbappe would be the man to try and sign. Apparently, he's unavailable for transfer. I'll suggest £150 million. They've rejected it. You know what? We'll just offer 225 million and see what they say. Why not? I'm just looking through alternative players. I feel like I can't sign Mbappe. We'll see what they say about the other offer. I mean, there are some other perhaps more sensible players I could buy. But as the comment section was very keen to remind me on Saturday's upload, sensible is not the beta safe mantra, is it? Why be sensible? Apparently PSG are interested in Caicedo. How about £100 million and Caicedo? Don't really want to give them Caicedo anyway. There's a couple of players who have come back from loan now that I am somewhat keen to sell. Apparently Fofana might get a bid in the region of 29 million. I mean, if I could get that for Datro Fofana, I feel like that would be pretty good given, well, his alleged potential ability. It's not great. Slonina has the potential to be a good goalkeeper, but I do question the odds on him making his potential. He actually got a really bad injury whilst out on loan last year that kept him out for a little while. What did he do? He broke his wrist. He actually then fractured it months later. 21 years old, has a really good personality, but if I could get anything like the value that he has, it's probably worth cashing in on him. Badiashile have just offered out, but at the moment, no one wants to make a bid. Anyone else here? Lewis Hall. Obviously, a bit of a weird transfer saga involving Lewis Hall in real life. In Football Manager, and I don't know if this will change, he's not very good. He probably should be better, but I don't think he's worth the kind of valuation that he has. So again, we'll offer him out. We'll ask the agent. Apparently, Mines might be interested but can't afford it. Any intermediaries think that anything could happen? No, sadly not. Okay, we've had a bid from Sevilla for Fofana. It's 28.5 million. I'm going to ask for 30% of any profit. I shouldn't have done that. I'll ask his agent to sell him again. I might have balls that up slightly. I'll just offer him out for the price that Sevilla offered. They'll come back, right? If I just offer him out for the same amount, you'd think they'd come back. I hope they come back. Breaking news, Sevilla haven't come back yet. I have had a offer. It's a loan offer for Hutchinson. 21 years old. I've had him out on loan the last 2 years. He's done fine in the championship, but I feel like he's just a little far away from ever getting near our first team. I feel like rather than trying to loan him out for another year, given the fact he's 21, it's probably best now to try and sell him. Apparently, there's no teams that are likely to make a bid right now, but we can keep an eye open. I feel like Portsmouth probably don't have the funds to sign him permanently. Okay, we have got this Club World Cup final. In terms of the starting 11, do I want to go with the same starting 11 as last game? I feel like I'm going to start Tammy Abraham here, actually. I would love to play Mudryk, ironically. Apparently, he doesn't need a fitness test. I could risk him. He has had a few issues of injury, but yeah, this might be stupid. I'm going to bring him in for Victor Roque and play him out on the left-hand side. Of course, Yamal hasn't yet joined us from Barcelona. He joins us when he turns 18 in a week or two's time. Some of the players that have signed for us recently have come back from loans. Recently, haven't been registered for this competition. Ansu Fati, still coming back from injury, not ready for a fitness test. Obviously, he'd probably play ahead of Mudryk ordinarily. With that in mind, I think this is the team. I don't love it. But then again, I don't love Man City either. So they have got Haaland on the pitch. They have got De Bruyne on the pitch. I feel like we're quite familiar with this Man City team at this point. There's been no shots on target in the first 25 minutes. Could that change here? Why is Fofana my centre-back in this position? Where are you going? I mean, we still have the ball, so I guess it's fine. Caicedo shoots wide. Maybe I should be packing his bags and sending him to PSG. There is going to be another highlight immediately. It's weird with this Club World Cup, though. Like I mentioned in the first game of today's episode, it's not a competition that I play in regularly in Football Manager, and of course, it's not, at least in Europe, necessarily the most prestigious of competitions. And yet, when you're in it in Football Manager, you do really, really want to win it. I'd love to see us make it happen. And I'd love to see Tammy Abraham find the target. He crunches the outside the post and it goes wide. Like the game against Bayern Munich, we're not having nearly as much of the ball as the opposition, but when we have it, we are having shots, we are creating. I'd love to say our finishing's been better today. So far, that would have been a lie to claim. We have not shown a lot going forward, and now Man City, in fact, on the attack. Foden, inside to Erling Haaland, who pulls it across. Bernardo Silva drags it wide. In fact, it was blocked. Apologies to Silva. It wasn't a bad effort, just blocked. Now we have to deal with his corner. This is scary. Near post. Rodrigo winning a header. That does not reflect well on our defensive set-piece setup, does it? Half-time in this game, 0-0. No shots on target. Yeah, it's been one of the football matches of all time. This is the Club World Cup final. I feel like I should feel so much more hyped for it. And at the moment, it's difficult to feel hyped for it. It might be about to get more difficult as Haaland forces us into a save. Perry makes his first stop of the game. I don't know how much he knew about it. Abraham's picked up a knock. We're going to bring in Ferguson. Mudryk has been poor. Victor Roque on Newcombe. Echeverry, Madueke. I'm going for the exact same changes just about that I made last game. Obviously slightly different personnel over on the left-hand side. Joe Gomez has a booking already. I don't like that. Tamori on Newcombe. I'm making 4 changes after 61 minutes. This could be a terrible idea, but it kind of worked last time. I mean, if we score immediately here, I am a genius. Ferguson, first action on off the bench, whips it, back post, Victor Roque hits the crossbar. And now the question has to be asked, had I not made the subs, would we have created the same chance? Would Mudryk have headed it on target? We will never know. Corner, Mason Mount. 26 minutes left here. Any goal is going to put pressure on the other team, and Evan Ferguson is going to tower above Ederson and score. It was a battle of the suns in the box here when the ball popped up into the air. But in the end, it was Ferguson making Eder his son. The goalkeeper got nowhere near it. I am fully aware that was criminally bad commentary. Not going to apologise for it. Okay, there is 6 minutes left of this game. It's really not got better in this second half. We've made our subs. We've got our goal. It came from a set piece. Besides that, there's not been a great deal of action here. Man City looking for one last inspired attack, perhaps. Haaland no longer on the pitch for them, of course. Can we make something happen? James, inside. Echeverry. Victor Roque has a man on the overlap. That man is Ben Chilwell. Players queuing up in the middle. Could cross it in. Should cross it in. Does cross it in. Ferguson finishes it 2-0. I'm going to say it. That's game over. We're going to lift the Club World Cup. Unless we are about to have the biggest bottle of all time. It would be an absolute bottle job from this position not to win the competition. But yeah, I feel like that's that. We've not been great in this tournament, I don't feel like. We've had to come back in a few hairy situations, but ultimately, that resilience has served us well, and our finishing has been okay. Our actual defensive ability, I think, has been pretty solid, especially in these more difficult games against Bayern Munich and Man City. I know they've not had a lot of shots, but I almost feel like that's a testament to the way in which we've gone about our business when we don't have the ball against these teams, which, to be frank, have absolutely dominated the possession against us. A clean sheet here would be massive. There is, 45 seconds left. There's an injured Jack Grealish getting tackled. It does fall to Goretzka. I mean, I might have just jinxed the clean sheet, I realise. Or we're about to make this game in the history books look more comfortable than it ever was. Could we get a third? I want to believe so. Victor Roque plays it forward. Chilwell has 1 assist to his name. Echeverry. Ferguson. It was for the hat-trick. He's been denied it. Victor Roque in the box. I'm expecting the full-time whistle here to go any second. It is going to go. And with it, we are the Club World Cup champions. We have the fancy little golden ball to lift up. It's not quite the real national World Cup. But make no mistake, this competition with the reformed version comes around once every 4 years. I'll probably never win it again in Football Manager. And whilst it's completely derailed the last few episodes, I'm going to savour it. We're going to hoist that trophy aloft. We are going to enjoy ourselves here today. Chelsea, world's best football club. And all it took was me to bring Tammy Abraham and Tamori back. I'm a genius. What a win. Right, now I actually have a transfer special. Get out the game, head in the game, take off the Club World Cup hat, transfer hat, back on. We need to go now because I've not really done any transfer business so far. The board absolutely love me, and can you blame them? I don't. Evan Ferguson, £85 million spent. Never questioned if that was a good or bad decision. What a player, what a man. Can't wait to see what he does in the Premier League this year now. Apparently, we were the biggest overachievers, which that feels disrespectful, although maybe that reflects well on my management. I overperformed with what was given to me. I feel like finally I can actually focus on transfers, which is quite refreshing because, to be frank, it's the 7th of July. The season starts in a month, and we need players. I need to sell players too. Echeverry won the FIFA Club World Cup Golden Ball Award. 1 goal, 4 assists, 7.81 rating. I'm very surprised he won it with those stats. I'm now questioning, do I need to have a spot in the first team for this guy? I feel like he got all his good performances against the bad teams. Perry, Max Aarons and Chilwell all also featured in the Media Dream 11 for the tournament. Roll Down of Seattle also featured. I thought I'd have a look at him in case he was good. He is not good. I ballsed up the selling of Fofana previously. Does anyone want to buy him? Not at the moment. Cassidy is another player who I would quite like to move on. If there's interest in him, amazing. I don't want to loan him out again, though. And I have also just been reminded by seeing this here. Brighton relegated down to the Championship in this save game. I'll be honest, I have already had a little bit of a look at their squad. Besides Matoma, who plays a position where I don't really need any more players, they don't have anyone really good enough for our first team. Ferland Mendy is transfer listed by request. Of course, we have already sold one of our left-back options in Cucurella, so if I am going to get in a replacement, he could be an option at 30 years old. He's not exactly getting younger, although he has only just turned 30. Wages might be a concern. I actually think for £28 million, he could be a good backup to Chilwell. We don't really have a left-back option at the moment. I mean, in fact, when you look at left-back options, we have Levi Colwill, who I will always view as more of a centre-back. Besides him, there's Max Aarons or Joe Gomez. Both players right-footed. Neither really a player I expect nor want to be playing at left-back. Mendy's very interested in a move. Interesting enough, he is quite aware of the fact he'll be a squad player. So this should hopefully make these negotiations slightly easier. He's asking for 170,000. I'm going to ask him 135 and add a year onto the contract offer. And I'm going to try and play hardball here, which is going to work out. I think this is a pretty good signing. Has some really, really good experience, great physicals, solid natural fitness means that even as he gets older, he shouldn't hopefully drop off too much. And at £28 million, I don't think I'm going to find a better backup left back. I stumbled across Mendy just looking at players that are transfer listed. I realise I shouldn't really limit myself to transfer listed players, but there's always bargains out there, isn't there, when you look through these kind of lists? I say that there's £282 million in the bank. Who's the most expensive player I could buy who would actually be good for me? I mean, Bellingham is tempting, isn't it? My issue with Bellingham is I actually already quite like my centre mid setup, and I do feel like that £200 million price is just too much. I feel like Vinicius Jr. for 180 million, I could just about stomach. I feel like I'd be buying Bellingham for the sake of buying Bellingham, you know? I don't feel like he's necessarily what I need. We've already got a whole host of centre mid options that I'm relatively happy with. There's some good depth in this area as well, with loads of young players that longer term I'd hope to see when we simulate forward do well at the club. I just feel like Bellingham might derail some of their careers. Mason Mount is developing concerns. He wants a new contract. We can't afford it. Probably can afford it, but he's bought it, so it's fine. Yes, here is all the players around the world that I've already scouted, or rather, I spam scouted. Nico Williams could be a pretty interesting player. I thought, actually, he'd be way better in game. Star rating-wise, he's rated phenomenally, and to be fair, he is a very, very good player at 22, but injury-prone, I feel like Pino, who we looked at a few years ago, would probably be better value for money in a similar area. Speaking of which, Pino, 2 players up on this list. Here he is, £112 million for him. If we compare him with Nico Williams, there is the head-to-head comparison. I'll tell you what, it's closer than I thought it was going to be. I mean, in a theoretical world, I could sign both, but I don't feel like either of these have the kind of wowing star power that I'm looking for this transfer window. I want someone who, when I put on the pitch, I'm going to be excited about watching. Luke Shaw is not that guy. Kvitcher could be an interesting option. 183 to 231 million. I mean, he is very, very good. He might be the most technically gifted player in the Football Manager database. 19 technique, 20 first touch, 19 dribbling. Physicals aren't too bad either. I mean, he is very, very good, isn't he? Like, very, very, very good. How much might he cost us? Okay, I'll put him on the maybe pile. I'm now looking at striking options ordered by value. I feel like there's players out there that I'd love to sign. I mean, Mo Salah is currently under a £94 million bid. He doesn't want to join me. Apparently Harry Kane might be interested. No idea how I'd even afford his wages. £1.9 million a week is still mental to me. I'm taking a play directly out the Todd Bowley playbook. I've ordered the players by world reputation in order to find my next signing. Kind of funny that Enzo Fernandez has popped up, isn't it? I mean, if I could sign Neymar for one season, would that be the dumbest transfer ever? I'm not sure it would be. He's transfer listed for 37 million. Can I take him on loan? I can't. You know what? I'm curious to see what his wage demands are. He's currently on more than any of our players, so maybe he'll ask for less money. He's on £700,000 a week. Our current highest earner is on £250,000. just for a bit of perspective. He wants between £500,000 and £650,000 a week as an impact sub. I mean, at least he knows he should be an impact sub. Neymar, I'll go 350. 350's already quite a lot. He's after 600. This just isn't going to work, is it? 500,000? I mean, I know it's a beta save, but is that ridiculous? You know what? I'll submit the offer. Let's go see who else is out there. People did say that my centre-back position needed strengthening. Van Dijk is available. He is under a bid from another Saudi team, but £67 million for a 34-year-old Virgil van Dijk. As a one-season signing, could I do worse? I probably could. I suggested 50 million. They have turned that down. The more I think about it, the more I'm beginning to realise that Vinicius Jr. really was the signing, and I'm just annoyed that he signed a new contract with Real Madrid. Rafa Leao is available. I feel like he is a bit underrated in Football Manager. Is that a hot take? I'm sure some people feel like he's overrated. I feel like for £195 million, he's just not that good. When I am looking at these players, I realise I'm kind of looking at them through the lens of last year's Football Manager. The football transfer market and valuations have changed quite a lot in recent years. Maybe 200 million is just the going rate for a good starter, but that still makes me feel uncomfortable to spend. No offers for Madueke. Mate, you really need to find a new club. Get out of here. I did look at Marcus Rashford. Now his agents come back to me like, are you still interested in Marcus? I would be. I don't know how much I'd have to pay for him. You know, I'll bid 100 million. They've turned it down. When I look at the team by star rating, is centre-back the way to go? We have Fofana and we have Joe Gomez. I feel like Joe Gomez is a bit overrated in Football Manager. If we compare him with Fofana, like they're both very, very good centre-backs in slightly different ways. My concern is if I buy another centre-back, Colwill won't get the minutes he needs this year to continue his development. And of course, we also already have Tomori. If I'm going to sign a new centre-back, I maybe have to sell a starter. Joe Gomez does have some interest from Newcastle. What does his agent think they might bid? Apparently he doesn't know anyone who wants interest. And now I've asked that, I've noticed that the wanted icon next to his name has vanished. Cheers, Newcastle. Thank you. That's really helpful. Maybe an intermediary can help. Intermediaries can't help. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Centre-back could be the way to go in terms of signing. Fofana, does anyone want you? No. I thought they made players easier to sell in Football Manager. Now Joe Gomez's interest is back. What is happening here? Why does it keep just changing every time I offer players out and stuff? I don't understand. Upamecano could be a really good centre-back option. 26 years old, caps for France, consistent, loves important games, great physicals. Yeah, he could be the one. And he can play defensive mid. I mean, please tell me if I'm going crazy here. You could literally play him as a defensive mid on defend alongside Caicedo, couldn't you? Have Caicedo play the Volante role, go forward a bit more, and Upamecano alongside him as the defensive option? I kind of like that. The value here is not that unreasonable. £67 million. I'm going to try and do a little bit of it in installments. But yeah, I think he could be the one. If I could get him for around 70 million, I'd be happy. Okay, not quite 70 million, but £83 million for him. Only 32 million of it up front. I quite like that signing. Okay, that transfer bid has been accepted. He expects to be a regular starter. I think I can give him that. I can't make him vice-captain. Chilwell is already a bit unhappy with me, but it's possible. I was wondering, why is this all red? I'll tell you why it's all red. It's because I've got that Neymar offer going on, isn't it? Right, Neymar, you know what, mate? That £500,000, that ain't working, is it? Sorry, I can't do it. Not even I'm that crazy. Okay, Neymar deal cancelled. Now everything here is not in the angry red colour, and I feel suitably relaxed. I'm going to try and get him for 180. 180? You love the darts, Dio. You love the darts. He loves the darts. We love the darts. That's a bullseye. Apparently we're interested in Akanji. Akanji's available for 31 million, allegedly. I don't think he is based on this valuation, but if we just compare him with Upamecano, I mean, it gives you an idea of how good the Frenchman is. And Kunku's out for 3 to 4 weeks. Fatty picked up an injury a little while ago as well. They both might be injured to start the season. Yay. Manchester United did reject the offer for Marcus Rashford. Yeah, I think that's going to be a no-go. Mo Salah's headed to Saudi Arabia on £1.3 million a week. I can't afford that. What I can afford is a wild Ferland Mendy. We have a backup left-back. Quite happy about this one. Tammy Abraham is thinking about forcing a move. He was so good last year for us, but if there is sufficient interest there, I think I'd have to consider it. The question is, can Victor Roque stand up and be backup? Would Evan Ferguson deliver on his lonesome? Or would I need to go out there and sign another striker? Lots of questions I don't really know the answers to. I was thinking I'd keep Andre Santos around this year, but we've had a pretty good loan offer from Brighton. I've got plenty of defensive mid options. I think I am actually going to let him go, especially with Dio potentially coming in. He kind of ticks that same box. Paying most of his wages, regular first-team football. I asked them to make him an important player. But yeah, he thrived in the Championship last year for Hull. I feel like another season at that level, this time with Brighton, who I assume are favourites for promotion, that could help his development immensely. Certainly more so than just sitting on the bench for us this year. Lazio have made a bid for Casadei. They've only offered me £21 million. He is valued quite a bit higher than that. But to be honest, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to develop him any more than where he's already at. I wonder if I could be a bit cheeky here. 25 million and I want 40% of any profit. I got too cheeky. I just remembered I've also got Badiashile still here. Is there interest in him? Inter want him on loan. I want to sell him. Talked about the fact that, of course, I need to get rid of a centre-back if I'm going to sign a new one. I've just realised I've got one more centre-back to deal with. I feel like players like Kendry Paez, Estevao, Echeverri probably not going to be ready to feature first-team football this year, so I'm going to move them down a squad. I've just had a new inbox item. One of them is crying. Paez is the one complaining. There's plenty of value in taking a step backwards. He thinks he's ready for first-team football. I need to loan him out. Hopefully someone wants him. If they want to pay all £68,000 a week of his wages, that would be nice. Why did I offer him £68,000 a week? This feels like a big occasion. Lamine Yamal is joining us. Well, I say he's joined us. He has joined us from Barcelona. 18 years old, signed for £30.5 million. Very, very talented player. Lacks a little bit in the stamina and work rate department, but I do want to make sure he's a mainstay of the first team this year. And with that in mind, I think he would be the player who I start out on the right-hand side to start the season if we don't make any further signings. I've had a bid for Casadei made from Bayern Munich. I'm going to have to take this bid. It's worth potentially £31 million. It's worth a guaranteed £28 million. 20% profit of any sell-on. 22 years old, he's not going to get near my first team at this point. He did fine in the Championship last year. Kind of surprised that Bayern Munich, of all teams, have been the team to make a bid, but we'll take it. Andre Santos, loan move confirmed to Brighton. That is a good loan for him. Hopefully, he continues to excel. Okay, Sevilla have made a bid for Fofana. It's £5 million less than what they offered before. I've learned from my error. I'm just taking this money. I'll take the hit on the few million I'm missing out on. Real Madrid have made an offer for Jack Grealish. This really is a cursed timeline we live in. If I really, really wanted to upgrade the team, Tchouaméni could be a really, really good centre-mid option. Quite how he'd fit into the team, I don't know. But we're signing a load of French players at the moment, and for £178 million, I do feel like you could do significantly worse. Although if I'm willing to spend that much, maybe I should just go out and try and sign Jude Bellingham. £233 million they reckon it's going to cost me. I'll offer £50 million now, then £150 million in instalments. What are they going to say to that? They hate me. Okay, look, I'll up the offer slightly. I'll offer them £85 million now and £150 million over three £50 million instalments. Surely that's going to be at least worth considering for them. In this save game, Gvardiol is still at Leipzig. I've gone from thinking I don't need to sign a centre-back to thinking about signing two in the space of 20 minutes. He's very, very good. He could also be a backup left-back option for us. Gvardiol, his wages aren't unreasonable either. He wants to move to a team with a stronger squad. For 78 million, it's tempting. I'd literally no idea how he fits in the team, mind you. I mean, when you compare him with Upamecano, he's probably better, although he will cost us more money, and he can't play defensive mid. But he can play left back. I don't need him. I need an attacker. I want to find a blockbuster attacking signing. Bear in mind what I've just said. I'm now looking at Lukaku. That's an option. I don't know what's going on. I mean, some good news. Players like Badiashile now have interest in them. Madueke as well. I really need people to start to bid on these guys. Oh my God, the game heard me. I hit continue. Badiashile's had an offer from Marseille. He has no interest. Mate, you need to go to Marseille. You really should consider this offer. I have no interest in choosing Marseille over Inter. There's nothing you can say to change my mind. I'm pounding my fist. I know it's up to you. He's literally going to turn down this offer, isn't he? I mean, I'm just going to accept it and hope he leaves. Lazio made a bid for Madueke. They've offered 21 million with 20% more. I want to try upping this amount, but I feel like in Football Manager this year, you can't do these negotiations. I've already shown it with Fofana and with Casadei. Like, even changing the tiniest little things, teams get really offended by. Oh, I want to negotiate it, but I would regret it if he doesn't go. You know what? I don't really need money. I need space in the first team. I'm going to sell him. I've got a few players going out now. If Madueke, Fofana and Casadei leave for a combined just shy of 60 million, that would be incredible. If I can get that 31 million as well for Badiashile, that would be nice too. Arda Güler is now out for 4 weeks with a twisted ankle. That is 3 of my attacking midfield options probably out to start the season. My bid for Bellingham's been rejected. How about 250 million? How does that sound? They've accepted it. I think we're buying Bellingham. I was hoping there would be a more inspired option out there, but to be honest, I feel like he is just the best player that I can sign right now, and it's Jude Bellingham. I might not get another chance to manage Jude Bellingham this year in Football Manager. He wants 400,000. Please do 300,000. 325? You know what? I don't want to lose out on this transfer for £50,000. I'll pay you 375. You better be bloody brilliant. Someone is going to have to let Mason Mount know that he is about to be replaced. To be fair, he's quite a good big upgrade. I didn't realise Mason Mount was so bad compared to Bellingham. I think it's more Bellingham being good than Mount being bad, mind you. I mean, as to follow up on my interest in Gvardiol, maybe later. Maybe. If anyone bids on Joe Gomez or Fofana. Okay, Upamecano's work permit has been granted. £83 million for him, 34 million now, loads over instalments later. I think that's a pretty good pickup. Massive upgrade at centre-back. Can also play defensive mid. Don't think he'll play there for us all that often, but it's a plan B. Big name set to boost shirt sales. Happy days. Bad news for the 5,000 people who bought Mason Mount shirts. Yeah, he's probably not going to be playing for us very much next year. Okay, well, people criticise me for lack of signings. I've signed Upamecano. I've signed Jude Bellingham. Yeah, Jude Bellingham. He's quite good this year in game. I mean, he's pretty good in real life. Don't know if you've watched much Real Madrid this year. Solid footballer. That's the understatement of the year. Mason Mount has developed concerns. They're probably founded, mate, to be honest. Competition is healthy. He agrees. Good. I do feel like a centre-mid setup of Caicedo and Bellingham, it doesn't really feel fair, does it? I mean, if I was coming up against this team, I would be scared. Bellingham is expected to sell shirts as well. Maybe all these signings that I'm making are just going to pay for themselves in shirt sales. I have got £118 million in the transfer budget. We are massively over the wage budget, so probably before I do anything else too crazy, we should sell some players. I have spent £250 million there like it's nothing. I mean, it's no Mike Frost. I realise half you aren't going to know who Mike Frost is. I've spent £350 million on a player many FMs ago. That felt mental back then. Suddenly in this Football Manager, £350 million doesn't actually sound as outrageous. It's still quite a lot though. Okay, Casadei leaving the club, loads of money for him, £21 million for a player who would not get near our first team in the foreseeable future. Bit of a sell-on as well, don't mind that. And Datro Fofana also set to join Sevilla, so 2 really good fees received there for players who were out on loan in the Championship last year, managed to inflate their value, get a bit of interest in them. Now we get to cash in. Now I just need Badiashile and Madueke to leave the club. If they both leave, I feel pretty happy with our transfer business. Yeah, you might have also spotted here, have been trying to oust Wesley Fofana. No one's making any bids. I realise at this point this is going to have been a longer episode. In fact, you may have spotted at some point during this video, and I won't reveal when, I did actually go to bed because the recording was taking a while and get back up to record the bit you're seeing now. If you are enjoying the video, drop a like on it, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the transfer business thus far, or just let me know who you're managing in Football Manager. Just leave a comment. It could be anything. What did you have for dinner? Who are you managing? What do you think of my transfers? Any of the above. Let's just try and feed the algorithm a little bit. With these longer videos, it does help massively if YouTube sees engagement on it. Okay, Madueke leaving the club. Would have liked to have got a bit more money for him, but ultimately he has a lot of negative, super injury prone, has not performed for us when we've given him chances. I just needed money, £21 million million is fine. Knew this might happen. Badiashile turns down Marseille. I mean, he wants to go to Inter Milan. They've not bid on you yet, mate. I'll offer him out for 30 million. He's already transfer listed. I'll tick the transfer listed box. Again, maybe that'll make him doubly listed. With all the transfers I've done so far, first team squad size of 29 players. That does include the likes of Paez and Moscardo, who are more on the fringes. It is still bloated. I might try offering out Mudryk. I mean, the thing is, I've already asked his agent and there's no one interested. I have asked intermediaries. They say there's no interest. I think my only option left really is to offer him out for an unspecified amount and just transfer list him. It risks him becoming unhappy, but at the same time, it's not something that concerns me that much. He's not super influential. I don't intend on playing him a great deal. Not a bad player, Mudryk, but yeah, not good enough for our team. I feel like at this point, I've done all the big transfer business I'm going to do, at least for now. I mean, never say never, but we've signed Bellingham, we've signed Upamecano. At this point, it's just a case of getting rid of a few more players, like Badiashile, who has an offer from Liverpool that he really, really wants to go to. This might be controversial. I'm going to accept the bid from Bayern Munich that's less money, and I'm going to try and negotiate with Liverpool, because I know that Liverpool have money. I know that they have cash. They've sold £147 million worth of players. Surely I can get more than 30 million for him. He would allegedly like to go to Liverpool more. They've offered 30 million. I kind of want to negotiate this really high, but I know it might blow up in my face. I don't want to push my luck here, but what do I ask for? I'll ask for 32.5. Okay, well, it feels like in Football Manager, at least in this beta, you cannot negotiate, at least when teams make bids. He might be unhappy I've turned down Liverpool. I feel like I'd still rather sell him to Bayern Munich for £10 million less than a direct divisional rival. Not sure if that's an unpopular take. Hopefully he likes Munich, otherwise, well, we could be in trouble. No offers for Mudryk. Mate, can you find yourself a new club? Well, at least he's got the memo now. I have £156 million to spend. I've rejigged the budget slightly, so I have wage budget as well. There's money for another signing. I am looking at the fact that Erling Haaland is now showing as a possible signing and being tempted. I feel like I also do need to be sensible. I've agreed to sign Erling Haaland for £400 million. I don't know if I hit accept or not. I'm gonna hit delay. I'm gonna hit delay. That. £400 million, 100 million this year, 300 million for the next 3 years. I might have lost the plot. Might have. I mean, elsewhere, Mudryk wants to go to Tottenham, maybe. Oh, it's a mandatory fee from Tottenham. Yeah, you can. Mandatory future fee for Mudryk. Yes, get him gone. They said it couldn't be done. They said it wasn't possible. They said you could never make this transfer happen. That's right. I might be getting Mudryk sold. I feel like that's the bigger achievement than this bloke potentially joining us. I don't know if I want to do this or not. There's so much money. You know what? I'm going to end today's episode here. It's been a long episode. It's been a chaotic episode. Am I really about to sign Erling Haaland for £400 million? Tune in tomorrow to find out. Let me know in the comments if you do it. I genuinely don't know what to do. I mean, we can afford it technically from a wage budget point of view. It might stretch us thin for the next few years, but it is also Erling Haaland, and we are also playing a beta save. Next time out, I'll be back to either confirm or deny the signing of Haaland ahead of the Community Shield against Manchester United, where I hope we're going to absolutely pump them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this transfer special. It's been a bit of a weird summer with the Club World Cup, but hopefully you've enjoyed some of the transfer goodness, especially in the second half of today's video. Has been a little on the longer side. Appreciate it if you've got all the way until the end. Take things easy. Back tomorrow, with or without Haaland. We will find out together. I'll see you then.